Yeah, good evening. It's July 2nd. It's about 7:30ish, not quite 7:30. Um, it's Joe McKay again. So just so you guys know, kind of my backstory is I've been fat since I was about 8. So I've been overweight to fat for most of my life. I'm 47. I'll be 48 at the end of this month. So I got to the point 2018. I made a New Year's resolution and just decided I'm not doing this anymore. I've got to figure out a way to lose weight. And from that point moving forward, I lost from 267 down to 247 by, I think it was April or May, right in that range. And then I stagnated for the summer, and I had gotten back into drinking lattes and, sugary drinks, not sodas. I stay away from sodas. But I was drinking more beer, and I don't typically drink a whole lot of alcohol anymore. And then I was also just not really eating for a healthy diet and to maintain my weight and stuff. But I was able to sustain that 247 basically through the entire summer. I think I fluctuated up and down a little bit, but not a lot. So in August, it was like the last week of August of 2018. I tested my blood sugar and it was nearly 300. It was like 297. I said, oh my God, something's got to change. So I went right to YouTube. I searched for how to reverse diabetes, type 2 diabetes, because type 2 is the one that is diet related. Type 1 is the genetic one that you have to be on insulin. So anybody that's type 2 diabetic, know that you can change your future. You do not have to be on medication, and that is, if you're on medication, they basically want you their lifetime. They don't want you getting off their meds. You understand? So we've got to figure this out for ourselves. It's our health, and we've got to take control of it, because the pharmaceutical companies don't want you healthy. They want you sick long term so they can make money off of you. You understand? And doctors are in their pockets, and it's not the way it used to be. Medical community used to be there to do no harm, and they're not there for that anymore. If they were, there wouldn't be as many deaths related to drugs and deaths related to accidental stuff in like ERs and hospitals and things like that. It's gone away from what it used to be. Okay, off that rant, back onto the keto. So in August of 2018, I searched for how to reverse type 2 diabetes. I found some links, some videos on apple cider vinegar. And I started watching all these different videos on apple cider vinegar, and then I came across one from Dr. Eric Berg. He's a chiropractor that started doing keto and actually does it as a business now. He actually does that as a business model. So he actually makes money off of ketogenic products. His videos are free. I started watching his videos. I started watching Thomas DeLauer, who was another one that I found his apple cider vinegar. And from that, I started doing the apple cider vinegar that I think it's Thomas DeLauer recommends one with ginger and turmeric. And then I added a little bit of cinnamon also, because cinnamon has good anti-diabetic effects. So I did turmeric, ginger, cinnamon, and apple cider vinegar, and I cut it with water. I did not do it straight. Oh my God, it's awful straight. I tried it. But I can drink it with just, if I cut it with water, about between 8 and 12 ounces of water. So I started doing that. And after 1 week of doing that, my blood sugar went from 297 to 197. 100-point drop in 1 week. You understand how significant that is? Meds don't do that. You understand what I'm saying? The medications don't have that kind of an effect. So right there, and I had cut a lot of the sugar out too, so I wasn't like out chomping down on sugars and sugary drinks and things like that. I started watching what I was putting into my body again, and then I was watching more and more of their videos, and I started watching their keto videos, and I'm like, okay, there's something about this. And I had done Atkins in the past, so I understood the concept of getting into ketosis and using your ketones as your fuel. But this resonated better with me. And I like the fact that, like, especially Dr. Berg really recommends 7 to 10 cups of leafy green vegetables. So I started with that. I started doing the like a leafy green salad, and like a shake. So I was getting my vegetables between the shake and the leafy green salad, and at that time I hadn't gone into the intermittent fasting. I think it was maybe 2 weeks after that I started the intermittent fasting, which both of them recommend as well. And so I started doing 2 meals a day, and then I finally went to 1 meal a day. And I prefer the 1 meal a day. It just works out better for me. So that's how I kind of got started in this. And from the end of August until it was basically the week before Thanksgiving of 2018, I went from 247 down to 222. That was the lowest that I'd gotten to, and it was like right before Thanksgiving, and then I went off the rails and ate Thanksgiving dinner with family, and then that just snowballed. I had a hunting trip, and then I never got back onto keto until June. So June 11th or whatever it was, whatever that Sunday was here a couple weeks ago, that was when I got back on track. And just from, over that 8 months, I gained about, 22 to 38. So 238 is where I ended up by June. And I was fluctuating up to like 242 and usually sitting between 236 and 238, right in that range. And then I started this again and I dropped 10 pounds pretty quickly. And then I've kind of stagnated a little bit. Some of that is I was on vacation and I wasn't as active, and I just went back from vacation yesterday. So yesterday I switched my eating from night to day, so I won't eat tonight, but I ate this morning. So my weight right now is actually 228, so it's a little bit elevated from what it was, like 2 pounds, not quite 2 pounds. But my blood sugar is sitting between 100 and 110 on my fasted blood sugar. When I wake up, it's usually a little bit higher up, upwards of 130. So 134, I think it was yesterday. I was 124 the day before. That's my morning effect. So when you wake up, your body dumps more blood sugar, and you end up with a higher blood sugar on your first test in the morning. So my test when I got home yesterday was 109. My test, I think the day before was like 106, 107, and the test before that was 101. So I'm sitting right around 100 to 110, and I'm not eating very many carbs at all. I think I had a little bit of heavy cream, like 2 to 4 tablespoons of heavy cream, which puts you at about 2 to 4 grams of carbs, which for my body is nil, So, but like I said, I'm really watching my carbs. I'm not putting sugar into my body. I do drink coffee, and I try and drink coffee black. I drink coffee black if I'm not in my eating window. If I'm in my eating window, I can have some heavy cream in it. So just so you know, this is why I'm doing it. I got to the point where I couldn't stand being fat anymore. So, and you can see, I'm fat, but I'm starting to trim down. So I don't know if you can see this, but I'm fairly muscular. I've got good muscle structure, and just need to get the fat off. And once I get the fat off, the body will look healthy. I'll look athletic again. I played baseball in college. I played football and baseball and wrestled in high school. So I've always been athletic, but I've also always been overweight. I've always carried extra weight. And a lot of that just has to do with the diet that we were trained to eat when I was growing up. We didn't know any better. And I didn't grow up in a wealthy family, so we didn't have a lot of options. We had, whatever the cheapest option was what we ate. And then we typically had some type of a carb and some type of a meat and some type of a vegetable on the table all the time. Mom was real good about that. Until I got into high school, we actually sat and ate at the table. When we got into high school, everyone's lives were at a different pace, and my older brother was doing sports. I was doing sports. We weren't always on the same teams. And so all of that just changed everything. And then I went and played baseball in college, and I went to a junior college and then transferred to a 4-year, and I got injured, and that's when I started getting bigger. And I got bigger quick because I was sitting around 185, 190 while I was playing, and then I got up to like 220, 230 pretty quickly after that, and I dropped out. I wasn't in a good mental state, and 230, and then I ruptured a disc in my back, and that turned to 240, and then 260, and I've gotten as high as like 285. That's as heavy as I've ever been, and that was awful. Oh my God, I hurt so damn bad. So just remember, start slow, make the changes gradual, but make them permanent, because this is one of those things that you definitely don't want to be doing this half-assed. You don't want to be doing this part-time. You want to be doing this on a permanent basis. This is a lifestyle change, not a diet. So understand that even though it's called a diet, diet is actually what you put in your body consistently. That's your diet. So make sure that keto is your diet.